Hello and welcome to Enfield Today. I'm sitting in for Kevin Kivey this week. My name is John Fox, and I'm in here for a reason. It's because I'm interested in our social services program, and we're very fortunate to have a special guest with us. It's Miss Dawn Homer Bouthiet. And how are things on the new job, Dawn?
So I just hit my third month. It's been pretty exciting. Every day has been different. I leave kind of exhilarated and exhausted. We have great dedicated staff who've been here doing work in Enfield for a long time. Most of them live here and raise their kids here, so they're very committed to the town. So it's been a great transition for me.
Wow, that's tremendous. You know, most people don't realize that the percentage of people over 50 in Enfield is like 30%, I think.
35. Yep.
35%, and that's something I didn't realize till a couple years ago. I was out going around knocking on doors, running for office, and I was just surprised at how many people are at home in their 60s and 70s, and just how important social services is for those people, the services we provide them. And what services do you think most people are unaware of through your office?
So Enfield is in a fairly unique position. Unlike many municipalities, we offer a range of services for all ages across the lifespan, so that's very different. For folks 50 and older, we offer, depending on where you are in the life spectrum, you may be having your kids at our youth center, your adolescents, helping them get ready for success in school and graduation. We have a grandparents program through the Family Resource Center for grandparents who are raising the next generation of kids. We have a range of services at the senior center, recreation, fitness, and we have an adult day center that serves medically fragile folks who have some dementia and Alzheimer's, and mostly are trying to stay at home with their family members. So we offer a range. Magic Carpet, our bus in town, and Dial-A-Ride as well. So there's a lot of services.
Yeah, I mean that's tremendous, given the fiscal constraints we're all facing. To continue to provide all of those services has to be a real challenge, but that's probably saying that it's even more important that people understand why we need to maintain these types of things. The Dial-A-Ride, I know firsthand of people who've had eye surgery and they're stuck at home. They can't drive for several weeks after having, let's say, cataract surgery or something. And you got the Dial-A-Ride that'll come out and take them to the grocery store, to the doctor's office. That's huge. I mean, just maintaining a quality of life while you're at home.
It's important. Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely important. What did you do before coming to Enfield?
So the last 12 years of my career, I was a legislative analyst at the Commission on Children, it's a legislative branch agency. Before that, I was the State Director of Strategic Planning for the Department of Social Services, so I had oversight of a lot of the programs that I'm currently trying to implement here at the local level. Oh,
that's awesome, and we're seeing such high caliber people in these key positions, because I think last year seeing the departure of so many department heads for whatever reason, we just had to kind of sit on our hands and hope that someone's going to come in. You're obviously hugely qualified, and
Thank you.
That's great. Is there a way that I know the town website's not something that most people sitting at home are savvy enough to navigate through. Is there other ways for people to get more information about the services through? What is 211? Is that?
Okay. Yep. So 211 is a statewide information and referral line. You literally just dial 211 on any phone. The calls go into the Connecticut United Way in Rocky Hill, and you can look for a range of services there, from child care to support groups for grandparents, for example, or anything in between. And the call is free. And they can also help you in alternative languages. So if you're not a primarily English-speaking person, you can get services at 211 as well.
The grandparents taking care of grandchildren, we have a website for that where it does mention I guess some of the financing that's available for them. It's some type of stipend, I guess, that helps them out. But I also see that that they have picnics and things like that, maybe some social events too.
So during the school year on Monday nights at the Family Resource Center, we host a facilitated support group with a licensed social worker who comes and helps the grandparents get over issues and barriers they might be having as they raise their grandchildren. The world is not necessarily the same as when they raise their own children, so some of those struggles are financial, some are social. The kids, because of some of their life circumstances, have struggled with academic success, and some have made bad choices. And so we try to provide support and information for those grandparents as well as the parent in trying to make the best life they can for the kids. Department of Children and Families used to have a funding stream that has been greatly reduced for kinship care, which is what grandparents raising grandkids is called at the state.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, is ERFC at all associated with your department? But I do know it's another resource for after-school programming.
It's a private nonprofit. We do give them a little bit of funding because everybody's running lean these days, and so primarily they started as an after-school program. We have several of those around town. Recreation Department offers some. We offer some at the Enfield Child Development Center at Stowe School before and after school and school age. And so we hope to get the kids out there and get them in some quality learning experiences.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, my wife works in education, and you know the challenges people have. You know, just keeping their kids up to date and moving right along. You know, through education's just so important.
Well,
and
the earlier you start, the better it is. So
yeah.
That's why I have the young ones going, infants and toddlers as well.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt. You know what? We emailed back and forth a little bit, and I was interested to see what was going on at the senior center. And one thing that in my work, I work in insurance. I go to a lot of nursing homes, and I see what happens to people when they don't have enough mobility or if they're just not active. And I see the senior center has a few different programs. One is the Prime Fitness Gym. Offers a variety of fitness classes, Tai Chi, meditation. I did go in one time and see people doing some chair yoga or something like that, and weight training. How do you promote that beyond? I mean, is there any issue with getting people to go to the senior center?
It's always hopping. It's a very hopping place. We actually just did a senior picnic that the police came and they cooked, and we used it as a resource fair. We had about 300 seniors at any point in time between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. There on site. So it's a very vibrant place. It's a range of activities. You can do arts and crafts. You can play bingo and cards. There's a pool room, library. The fitness room has a registered fitness person in it, so they can help with a customized program for you that's fully supervised.
Right.
We do Meals on Wheels there in the community cafe as well. So it's a very, very vibrant place.
Yeah, I've seen they had you sent pictures. I wasn't able to put them up for the website, but Elton John
impersonator
showed up there, and so I guess gone are the big band era, entertainment. Maybe you do have that.
Yeah,
too,
we have all range of stuff. We also do a lot of community trips that people sign up for through the senior center, and there's a range of that as well.
That's so important. You got to get out of the house, and nothing better for your mind, I think, than to just travel, and especially if the group is friendly with each other and they're able to do all of that. The meals are relatively cheap too, I guess, huh?
So it's a program that we do with the Community Renewal Team that's federally and state funded through the North Central Area on Aging. So it's a real partnership. We offer a cafe meal that you can sign up for at the Senior Center. We have one also at Mark Twain, and then we run our Meals on Wheels programs out of the Senior Center for folks that are homebound and can't get in.
Yeah, I think the Senior Center is probably one of our great achievements here in town. It seems like it's well taken care of. So the Commission on Aging, many people might not know exactly how this came to be. It was founded in 1971, and they have responsibilities according to the website for Commission on Aging. It says established to study the needs and coordinate the programs for the aging. The responsibilities are to foster understanding, respect, and involvement of older adults in the life of the community, so they're not shut-ins. And I think that's a great tragedy because, I do see just in traveling around town people who need help. Let's say it's wintertime, you know, and you know they're in their house and there's no one there shoveling their driveway. Next thing you know, they're out there shoveling.
Yep.
Or earlier this spring, I saw a gentleman who had to be 85, 90 years old, thin as a rail, pushing a shopping cart up Elm Street, almost to Ganey Terrace, from what might have been Big Y or Stop and Shop, over 3 miles,
Yep.
you know, filled with all his groceries. And I'm like, does he not know about Dial a Ride? You know, and that's another reason I'm really glad Kevin let me host this week, because, you know, these are the things I really wanted to hit on. Some of the other responsibilities for the Commission on Aging: assure older citizens equal access to town resources, facilities, programs, development through consultation, participation in planning, study and analyze the needs of the older population. I think, you know, is there a census that goes out? How do they know, you know, from year to year what the needs are for, you know, each new up and coming group of seniors, or every several years?
So it is a group of folks who are dedicated to working on issues that impact families, and particularly seniors in town. They have lived here most of their lives, so they've felt the livability in the community. We did work really closely with the State Commission on Aging on some livability projects to make sure that people could age in home if that's what their choice was. They've stepped up and filled a lot of gaps in the community. You mentioned the winter work with plowing and things like that. They haven't been able to do that, but they've actually created a senior minor repair program. So they have a group of time-tested volunteers who do home repairs, fix faucets and replace, you know, thermostats and things like that for folks who don't have family members close enough and can't afford to get out and do that stuff. So they filled that gap. We haven't got to the out to shoveling and things like that, but we're hoping that we may be able to get some youth members of our community out there helping elderly folks clean their sidewalks and stairs, especially for emergencies. We want that.
Volunteerism too. I mean, just for everything you just mentioned, you know, I did see that also, that you know, that they try to address safety issues mainly at these houses.
Yep.
Most of them are beyond the scope of the program. I guess it might require a new roof. That's not what they're going to do. But you know, I do wonder about stairs, tubs. People don't have walk-in tubs, so it's like, you know, what can we do? We can maybe put in some type of handicap rail for those people, or, you know, something that just, you know, makes it easier for them to get in and out of their house. And
we also try to make referrals, so when they go into a home, and we have energy assistant program and other programs like that that help elders, renters rebates and things like that. And so what we've tried to do is, where we can't fill the gap ourselves in the town, is to create partnerships. So CRT runs the energy assistance program. We just had them out so they could come and talk about weatherization programs as well. So say somebody's furnace fails, the senior repair program can't handle the furnace repair, but we can make the referral to CRT. They send qualified staff out, and they also have funds through the state that can help defray the cost of replacing a roofs, for example, or the furnace or hot water tank or something like that. And so we do try to fill the gap where we can, but you're right, those resources are getting tighter and tighter as the budget gets tighter at the state level.
The oil assistance, the gas assistance, I mean, these are all programs that people should try to at least call the social services office and you know, find out about the timeline. There's a certain time of year. There's only so much money in the fund. So, you know, if your parents you feel can't afford their heating bill or whatever, they'll get some assistance. And you should, people at home, you should definitely try to you know, find out what those deadlines are and take advantage of that, because you know, in going around from house to house, I mean, the number one issue is just not enough money really to you know, to pay your taxes and, you know, maintain the heat and everything else. I was also impressed that the social services program facilitates the is it tax reduction kind of program?
There is we do that with the assessor's office, and there is a program for elderly folks living on fixed income to reduce their tax to the town. And, you know, recently the town council saw fit to provide some staffing for social work staff. So we have folks now who can go out and do a full assessment of the person who's at home, what services might be available, what they might need, dementia screening, things that we weren't able to provide before. So we think that's also important to get the word out. My dad lived with us for the last 20 years of his life, and we were here in Enfield for about 10 of those years. It's a very proud generation, and so sometimes just getting over the barrier of not feeling like it's okay to ask for help or to make an application for things is an important part of the puzzle here. And so we have very supportive staff who are very respectful of what folks want to accomplish with their homes and how they want to live their lives. So I invite folks to give us a call to see if we need to provide some help.
Yeah, and I didn't even realize there was a holistic approach to, assessing the needs of these people. One thing I mentioned to you before the show was that I took a gerontology class at UConn, and it seemed like an easy sort of 3 credits, but I learned a lot. And as you mentioned, the greatest generation, maintaining their independence. I know that I've seen people, doing stuff in their yards that they probably shouldn't be doing. They should try to hire a kid to do it, raking or whatever. But if someone comes out and the whole process takes, how long do you think it would, for them to visit? And
an assessment, probably about a half an hour, depending on how it goes.
That's terrific. It's a half an hour, and then they could end up saving a lot of money and at least take the burden off, for those people. So we hit on a few different things. Is there any other areas that I was trying to find the email that that you had sent? We've got it's going to be voting season. Is there is Dial-A-Ride used for getting to the polls?
Technically, we can take folks pretty much anywhere in town. In order to go out of town, like for specialty medical appointment, we need to have some additional volunteers to help with the driving. So we can do that based on the resources we have available. So make an appointment and we'll get you where you need to go. Walmart, grocery store, podiatrist, whatever.
Let's talk about how do you become a volunteer? Because one thing, I've worked with some nonprofits, and it seems like the same 3 or 4 people doing the majority of the work for the nonprofit. If somebody wanted to be a Dial-A-Ride driver, and how many days a week would they? It's up to them.
It's up to them and their availability. We provide the car. It's there. It's a town vehicle. People can take that and pick up their ride and bring them back at their leisure, basically. And it's as much or as little as you want to volunteer, and that would be true of the Meals on Wheels drivers as well. We're actually out there trying to get more folks available to deliver meals. We have a wait list for that, so that would be helpful. So just calling the main line at Social Services, 860-253-6395, will get you there. There's a volunteer application if you're interested in the Senior Center on the website. You just have to put volunteer in the search button and that will come up. Almost every place takes volunteers. We just looked at our volunteer group. We have about 250 people at any point in time across the year volunteering in all of our programs, and we really can't do the work anymore without volunteers.
Wow.
That could be somebody who wants to do arts and crafts at the Adult Day Center during the day, or somebody who wants to give a genealogy class at the Senior Center. It's a grandparent who wants to come rock the babies at the Child Development Center. It's any of those types of things.
Wow.
It's great to be involved and to stay involved because that's how you stay young.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't realize 250 volunteers, and and you don't need a special license to drive the people around in the cars.
Well, you have to have a good driving record.
You have to have
that's
a good
about
driving record.
The liability is covered by the town insurance.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, we do some vetting. We do criminal background checks and things like that.
The other areas for social services that I feel are most important to the town have to do with other populations, other segments. And I look at the homeless situation, and I've talked to Priscilla Brayson at the Loaves and Fishes a few times, and has it been an eye-opener for you to see how many people are actually homeless that may be unaccounted for, or are they accounted for?
It's hard to get a count. We always work with the Connecticut Coalition to End Homelessness in Hartford. They do an annual point-in-time count where we send people out on a cold night and try to find the number of homeless folks. I think anybody in Enfield would be surprised about the number of homeless folks that we have. We have transient folks who come in and out. We have folks who establish camps We have a range of people with all different needs. We have a lot of families now, based on the economics, who can't sustain themselves with the wage that they're making now. So it's a very complicated problem in Enfield and everywhere else in Connecticut as well.
Yeah, it's a real hot button issue this year politically, and how to find some sort of equality, I guess, for these people. Because again, in my line of work, I talk to people working 60, 70 hours a week, and both people are working,
Yep.
2 jobs, and they really are just one car accident away from being homeless or being in that situation. And it is good to see we have a warming center opened up by one of the local churches. That took a few years for them to formulate. I know that your office works with people dealing with opioid abuse as well.
Our Youth Services Division has taken the lead on that, along with the police department, and we have a regional approach to that. We've had, unfortunately, almost 20 deaths in Enfield just since January, just for opioids, primarily heroin. It's incredible, right? That's a crazy number. Yeah. So we're working on reducing the traffic for heroin. We're working on prevention with the younger folks. One of the words we would like to get out, probably tonight would be a great time to start that discussion, is that you can take your pills, any residual pills you have from any medication you've taken. I've actually taken medication from my pets, because some of those have controlled substances in them as well, to the police station 24/7. The data shows that most kids, young kids or young adults who start with an opioid addiction often help themselves to somebody else's medication from the medicine cabinet. So that's a great place to start.
Wow.
Clean out your meds.
Yeah, I mean, on the national level, it's good to see that they're creating some laws and foundation for limiting the amount of painkillers people can be prescribed for any type of whatever it is that they're dealing with. But and as far as the pill drop-off thing, that's good to know. I know that I have some 10-year-old bottles of antibiotics.
Don't flush it down the toilet.
Yeah.
It goes right into the water system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I haven't done that, because I figured I used to know a guy that worked for a pharmaceutical company, and he just said there's so many chemicals in compounds in each medication, it just winds up in the water supply. So I never flush them. But so people should know that. I did see your office advertising a new support group for people with Alzheimer's. And that's huge, because I've witnessed that firsthand this year in my own family. A very dear friend, actually, of the family. Just once it's on, it's you can see it just weighs on the caregiver.
It's very stressful.
And they need to know that they're not alone, I guess, and that they have some sort of outlet.
So part of what we've been trying to do as well is, I've only been here a few months, but we're trying to get a kind of an assessment of where we're doing our services. We don't want people to feel stigmatized coming into an office they might not be comfortable coming into. So we're doing more out in the community. So our social worker is actually starting that support group this month out at Parkway Pavilion. We've also going to develop some relationships with the library so that we can do services at the library as well. We figured the more we get out into the community, the better it is for folks, and more easy access to people and environments they're more comfortable with. So we hope to provide better and more services that way as well.
Yeah, this is good to know. I usually see the churches involved in a lot of these things too, and I wonder if it dovetails with what the town is doing, and just all of it provides a nice framework, for people to get the services and help they need for their.
And there is an Alzheimer's support group as well at the senior center. So it's just a matter of picking a day and a time that works for you.
Right. Yeah. Right. And then there was I had just thought of something else. I've already started to lose my memory too, but
it happens.
I really appreciate your coming down here, and I do hope that your funding is stabilized. I'm sure, like all the other departments, just not knowing how much money you're going to have from year to year from the state. But I think, if we're letting everybody know just how much you're doing, it's money well spent. This problem's not going to go away just because we cut funding to it. And I really hope that on the local level and the state level that we'll, as taxpayers, see that this is something that just can't be disturbed. It's got to.
It's a very delicate balance as the budget gets tighter, because oftentimes what happens is families need more services, not less services, when the stress goes up or you lose a job or something like that. So it's been a delicate balance these last couple of years in the state.
Yeah.
Trying to do more with less.
Yeah, and I think fortunately we do have Facebook. I do love your Facebook page. I think most people are savvy enough on that. If they're not able to go to the town website and figure out everything that they're looking for, I do like that you guys sort of promote a lot of different things going on there.
Well, I think now it's important to have different media strategies. We did at that picnic I was mentioning at the senior center, we did a little survey on what long-term support services people were getting and what they thought they needed, so we could get better prepared to offer services. And we asked folks where they get their information, and we had more than 100 people fill out the survey, and more than 67% still said the newspaper. So it's kind of a different generation, I think. So we're going to try multiple strategies to get the word out.
And I have to say, I'll give credit to the Journal-Inquirer. They do have a great section there on things going on in the senior center.
Yes, every month. Yeah.
And the Hartford Courant, I'm sure, has something in it. But yeah, I could see that. Because we're bombarded with national news so much that the TV might not be as, even our graphics that we've been showing tonight, I can't imagine that people would be able to write down those names real quick, and so the newspaper makes sense for that. We're getting down to our last 2 minutes, and just looking through my notes real quick. I mean, there's so much stuff that you guys do. It just let me just end with this. Predators going after the elderly, the fraud,
the
scams. I mean, I know our police department's addressing that. Is there anything that comes to mind as far as what we're doing extra to address that?
So the senior center has been having workshops, and we're working with the AARP, which is very active in the scam getting information out, and the Department of Consumer Protection at ct.gov has a lot of good information about what the current scams are and how to deal with them and how to collect information and give it back so that people can do investigations and shut those scam operations down. Okay. Critically important.
That is important. And we have 1 minute. Let me just say, go to AAA.com. AAA now has identity theft protection, comes with their membership, so sign up for that, people, or sign your parents up, because they're the most vulnerable in our town. So AAA has a great program. It's free. It's included, so I would recommend that. Thank you very much for coming down.
Thank you.
We're going to have you back. We're going to try to do some location stuff out at the senior center.
Oh, great.
All right, and thanks again, Kevin, for letting me host this week. So that'll probably do it for Enfield Today. Take care, everyone.